Hello and welcome to my first photography editing workflow video. So let's just jump straight in and get going. So first thing I'm going to do is change the crop and change the angle slightly. Just checking the rule of thirds to make sure everything's aligned correctly. Yeah, so I like that, so I'm going to go with this here. First thing I want to do is look at the white balance, which I think is okay for now. I'm not going to touch that right now. So I'm going to go straight into highlights, bring it completely down, bring the shadows completely up. And this is just the wee trick that I do, and then I bring the exposure down just about there. And then I'll readjust my highlights and shadows. Just bringing the blacks down slightly. Just to get about there. And might bring the shadows up a wee bit. So the sky here is quite blown out, but there's nothing really I can do with that. And just to make the face pop a bit more, I'm going to increase the exposure. Okay, so this image isn't really that sharp, so I'm going to add a bit of sharpness back into it. Just being careful I don't add too much to make it too grainy. And I'm also going to add a touch of clarity just to make the details pop a bit more. About 11 I'm happy with. Another thing I'm going to do is also increase the exposure of the subject's eyes. And I'm also going to add a bit of colour, maybe green. So with the photo, I'm gonna move and add a bit of contrast. About 10, I think looks good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to move on to texture. Texture wise, I'm going to leave clarity and dehaze. I always like to add vibrance into my photos, so around 30 for now. And then I'll come down and adjust each colour individually. So start off with reds. I like to put them up to the max just to see where the reds are in the photo. I'm going to leave at +7. Oranges, you don't want to go too much into oranges because the skin can get too orange looking. So just leave that down. So yellows isn't affecting the skin, just the background. And I kind of want to make it quite vibrant, so I'm going to put that up. The blues, I'm going to put it +33, and I'm going to leave the purple. So then I'll come in the hue and just going to adjust the yellows, give it a bit more of an orangey look. It's down to -16. The greens, I want to make them pop a wee bit more, so +40, maybe 29 actually. The blues, I like the original colour, so I'm going to leave the blue. And then this is my favourite part of editing, the highlights. Well, before I actually get to that, I'm going to just take away some of the saturation and vibrance from the foreground here. It's just a bit too much colour for my liking, so I'm going to add a graduated filter here and change it to vibrance. Or saturation, sorry, whatever. So I'm going to bring the saturation down to -39, and I might add a wee bit of colour to it. Maybe, let me see, wee hint of orange. Yeah, I'm liking that. So this is before, this is after so far. So highlights. Just gonna have a look, see what looks good. I'm liking this orange color, so I'm gonna adjust the slider slightly to about 5. Looks nice. Again, you don't want to overdo the split toning, as it can completely ruin your photo if you don't use it right. So I'm gonna go with shadows, also like a yellowy color. And I kind of like that, number 7. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Sharpening wise, I'm actually gonna leave the sharpening, noise reduction, ISO 320. It's not too noisy. I'm not gonna, maybe just 10 for noise reduction. And highlights. So see the way this darkens the corners, but also up here in the trees. I just want the foreground darkened at the corners, so I'm gonna do that by using graduated filters. And then I'm gonna duplicate that layer for the bottom section, just to blend everything together. Oops. And change that to texture. Drop the texture to -7, -31. Reduce the sharpness. Okay, so here's a good tip that you can use in your editing. So as you can see, I've just made a graduated filter here, and there's some parts I don't want to be included in the filter. So what I'll do is grab the brush tool here, and then I'll hold in Alt, and then just simply go over any parts that I don't want included in the graduated filter. Okay, so I just dropped the exposure to see what I was working with, and I can bring that back up now. That gives the background a bit of softness and made the main subject pop a bit more. So I'm just going to make some final adjustments till I'm happy. So I'm quite happy with that. I'm just going to have a quick check at white balance to see. I might add a wee bit more of a warmer tone. Yeah, I quite like that there. Skin tones are okay. Everything's looking warm. And I'm going to have a final look through everything. Yeah. Okay, so I'm pretty happy that I'm finished now with this photo. So this was before and this is after. So I hope to do a few more of these videos, but for now, goodbye.